Welcome to the World of Nutrition podcast, part of the World of Ability podcast network, where we explore the connection between nutrition, wellness, and living your best life. Each month, we bring you practical insights, expert knowledge, and inspiring conversations designed to help you make informed choices for your health and well-being. And I am proud to introduce your host, Marilyn Lamere, a passionate advocate for living healthy and who is dedicated to helping others take positive steps towards a healthier future. Marilyn, so good to see you.
You too. Thank you. Welcome everyone to another episode of World of Nutrition podcast. I'm so thrilled to have two amazing guests. You guys are in for a treat. Okay. So my first guest is Maxie Smith, and she is a holistic health coach and founder of the Wellionaires Club, helping women create vibrant, sustainable wellness. With over a decade of experience, she specializes in hormonal balance, weight management, and clean, sustainable living, guiding women to feel energized, confident, and in control of their health. Maxie, I'm so thrilled that you're here. Please tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. I've been in the health and wellness space for about 12 years now. And I think, like with a lot of people, we start when we're not feeling great ourselves. And so once we find the solutions, that's when we want to share it with others. And so for me, that looked like I had asthma from a very young age, had the nebulizer, the inhalers, all of the things. And my whole family didn't know where it was coming from. There was no family history of it, right? So it was, where on earth is this coming from? And then once I graduated high school, my whole family decided, okay, we got to take health seriously. I was sick all the time. And I mean, all the time. I was sick probably 6 times a year or something like that. It was crazy. I was missing school. I had to say no to things all the time, which is not fun. And I felt like I was really missing out on life a lot. And so what we decided on doing is first we were going to switch out all of our cleaning products to more natural cleaning products because we had read somewhere that, there are lots of toxins in our environment, in part in the cleaning products, and that can have an impact on our respiratory system. So that's where we started. And I didn't have as many asthmatic symptoms after that. I didn't have any kind of breakouts anymore. I used to break out from even using hotel soap. I was so sensitive to everything. And once I started using other tools like supplements and things like that, I would only get sick maybe once every few years. And having such a huge before and after, and seeing how much more I could participate in life and also go after my goals and not always having to say no to things. I wanted to make sure that I could help other people do the same thing, especially women, because I think women tend to take care of everybody else first, and then we take care of ourselves last. And I really wanted to help women specifically, but also men, shift that. And really, I think we want to have an impact on everybody in our household and on our friends, but it's really hard to do that if we don't put that oxygen mask on us first. So that's why I do what I do.
I love that. And it's so true. I'm actually part of a nonprofit, on the board of a nonprofit, caring for the caregivers. And we talk about, okay, we need to put our own oxygen mask on first, and we need to take care of ourselves first. And I'm curious what kind of tips you're able to give, or what is your maybe morning routine that you want to share so that others can be like, okay, what does this look like?
It's funny that you mentioned morning routine because that's something that I've been really hyper focusing on in the last few weeks because I find it so crucial to feel grounded and that you have initially, right when the day starts, that sense of I have control over my day. I have control over how this day is going to unfold. And so for me, something that I have been doing is I have been going outside pretty much within 10 minutes of waking. I go and get some fresh air that's supposed to be helpful for your circadian rhythm and making sure that you get to bed also that you fall asleep around the same time every night if you get immediate exposure to sunlight. It also helps with your central nervous system, helps calm that down. And so focusing on getting some deep breathing, and that sounds silly, but just really observing nature and just focusing on that deep breathing is so soothing and so calming. and at the same time energizing. So it sounds a little bit contradictory, but then after that, I focus on gratitude journaling because I think it's so helpful to start the day off prepping and priming our mindset for seeing the good in what's going on in the world. And that's especially helpful when you're going through a really stressful time. Work may be crazy, family life may be crazy, whatever may be crazy, but if you can find still 10 things to be grateful for in the morning, it helps you at least have a little bit of reflection time for yourself. And like, okay, there's still some great things to anchor into, and helps you also prep to see more of that going forward from that point. And then after that, I do some yoga, I do some cardio, and then I get myself ready and have some breakfast that's protein focused. So usually 20 grams of protein. Ideally, we go somewhere around 30 for hormone balancing, and take my vitamins. And that's pretty much my morning routine.
Wow, I love that. Okay, and I wrote all of it down. However, I'm just curious, like for somebody that's just starting, like how would they make feasible switch
Yeah.
to incorporate something?
Well, I think you guys focus a lot, from my understanding on this podcast, a lot about mind, body, and soul, right? So focusing on prepping your mind with the component of gratitude and setting the intention and tone for the day. And then focusing on the body by moving it in the morning. Because I don't know about you, but I know I have zero willpower and zero desire to work out later in the day. That has to be done ASAP because that leaves me. So if I do it in the morning before I do anything else, then I know I'm set. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I don't have to battle myself and figure out the self-discipline and willpower to do it later. Um, and then also the vitamins and the healthy breakfast, all body. And then I think the soul piece is through nature, right? And yoga. I think that just helps refuel yourself and brings a sense of peace and calm and groundedness to everything. So I think having those three components sort of incorporated into your morning routine is really, really helpful.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I start every morning off with a meditation and get out of bed
That's a
because
lot.
my mindset is like I need to just really hone in on that, and
Mhm.
it really helps for me to start my day on the right foot, I'll
Yeah.
say. So yeah,
Do you do the guided meditations or do you just sit with your
I do
thoughts?
both. Yeah, I'll do guided meditation and then I'll be in prayer as
Wow.
well. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's just like, okay, what am um I realize that our minds are so powerful,
Mhm.
and and that's why I love that you said write 10 things that you're grateful for. You
Mhm.
know, if we're in that attitude of gratitude, then it's like, okay, we're looking for the good. We're always looking for the silver lining. And I do believe everything that we go through is a lesson. The reason why I became so passionate about, helping the body, mind, and soul is because I ended up in the ER
Mhm.
for health related issues that I didn't realize were underlining, and I was decades. So, just doing the mindset work, the inner work has been amazing. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And I like the part that I really appreciate. I use a gratitude journal. You do not need a gratitude journal, but I use a gratitude journal, and the one that I use, it's divvied up in three parts. So it has the just listing things of gratitude, and then it has a part where you focus on three goals that you write out, and you have to go into the what, the why, who do you need in order to like achieve this, what could get in the way, and how are you going to reward yourself at the end of that. And then the last part is to focus on who you want to give grace to. And I think that's also a really important component. And sometimes it may be yourself who you need to give grace to. And then other times it may be somebody else that you just have to let go. So, but it's nice to have those different components. And I think you can do that. You don't need the gratitude journal that I have, but you can just write it out on a piece of paper.
Yeah, I think the grace, actually, the first person I thought was myself, because I've been the hardest on myself pretty much my whole life. And so it's like, okay, would I the grace that I give to others, I can also be able to give to myself. And
Mhm.
it's safe for me to do that.
And
And so
if you
that's
don't, I think that resentment shows up in your health at the end of the day, right?
absolutely, yes. And then people, don't feel well.
Hmm.
I was definitely not feeling well when I ended up in the hospital, and I was just like, okay, something needs to change. So I think just knowing you for the amount of months that I've known you, it's like you definitely have a positive attitude, and you exude like a lot of like happiness and gratitude. So I can tell that you're doing something besides, what I just see on the outside, right? So I didn't know that you have that gratitude journal, which is beautiful. Journaling is really important because that gets what's on our mind into from our hands into paper and just solidifies and helps us to get to our goals. So I absolutely believe in that too.
100%.
Yeah. So what else would you want to share with the listeners as far as, okay, well, this is my morning routine, and if something comes up during the day that I get to notice what I'm noticing and go back on track, how do you help encourage your clients?
That's a really good question. So I think when it comes to my clients, we do work a little bit on the mindset portion. I think what we generally tend to work on a little bit more than mindset is focusing on habits and establishing healthy habits. So if we notice, I think something that I tend to integrate more into my accountability meetings with my clients, which is what I do. So, just for context for listeners, watchers, whatever, is I create personalized supplementation regimens for my clients. And they tell me their health goals, they tell me their health challenges, and then based on that, I'll give them recommendations. And then outside of that, I take out the toxins out of their cleaning products and personal care and give them non-toxic alternatives. But accompanying that, I give them also weekly accountability group coaching. And so in those coaching sessions, something we focus on is establishing the healthy habits outside of just taking supplements, which is really crucial because you just don't get everything from your food, just impossible. But what can we do outside of that? Like we talked about weight management, and stress also impacts, the weight management. And if we're super stressed throughout the day, and we tend to notice that maybe we're more stressed towards the end of the day or the beginning of the day, then we know that that's probably going to be the hardest time to make the best choice and decision for us when it comes to food. So if we know that, if we work with our biology and with our general habits that we have currently already established and that we may have not completely switched over yet, then we know, okay, if this is the time that I struggle the most, then that is the time where I need to put in other tools in place. So for me, I think that's something that I focus on a lot with my clients is a really simple switch you can do that tastes great, that is filling, and that feels like a treat is to have a protein shake, as a meal. So if you know that in the evenings you're going to get hungry and you don't have your best self-control because you had a long day at work and you're stressed, you had an argument with your coworker, with your boss, whoever it may be, and you've had to swallow some things that you didn't want to, then that is a great time that you normally would maybe choose to eat out or to have a whole bunch of things that doesn't serve you. And I think that's the first part is recognizing that yes, it may feel like a treat in the moment to go out and eat, but ultimately it doesn't serve you because more often than not, we feel regretful, we may feel bloated, we may feel heavy, we may feel brain fog the next day, whatever it may be, but that doesn't serve us ultimately. So switching that out with a protein shake can be so simple. It can still feel like a treat and allows you to slowly switch that without any regrets, without the, negative aftermath that some of that can have.
Yeah, that is actually, I love that so much. Just doing a simple switch. Something that I realized from another woman. I totally forgot her name off the top of my head. Oh, Kimberly Watkins is her name, I believe. No, anyways, whatever her name is, she was talking about how certain foods we
Mhm.
have paired it from when we were children to certain feelings. So this is why we
100%.
feel good when we have the ice cream, when we have the chips or the cookies or whatever, because we paired it with a positive memory of someone in our childhood. And
Mhm.
so we're looking to get that feeling. So I'm like, oh my gosh, just hearing you say that too. It's like, okay, there's things that we can notice what we're noticing as we're going through it and be like, okay, here's another solution that will be beneficial for us.
Mhm. 100%. And I think sometimes maybe the first or another alternative step, not the first step, because I think the first step should also be always be the noticing of feelings and what the actual impact is. Because the first immediate, you know, recognition I have, at least when it's something about comfort food, is like, oh, I feel good in the moment, right? But then if we don't follow that, like, how does it feel after? Then, we don't get to the part where we're like, yes, it feels good in the moment, but then afterwards, it doesn't feel so great. But an alternative is always to find a healthier version of that food, right? We're so privileged because we live in a time where we can find so many recipes and have access to so much information. And so we can find healthier versions of the recipes that we love and that are comforting. Um, I personally know that I have experimented so much in the kitchen. I know I share as many recipes as I can on social media that work really well for me. I'm grateful that I found so many alternatives that take out a lot of the ingredients that I try to minimize in my life, where I've just noticed that I don't tend to react well to and that just generally don't have a good positive impact on hormonal balance for women. And so I think we just have a lot of options for us. We can, substitute a meal with a protein shake. We can also, on special occasions, make a healthier version of things. And then we can also just establish new memories, right? That's also a beautiful thing.
Absolutely establishing new memories with things that we know are great for us that will benefit ourselves emotionally and our bodies
Mhm.
nutritional. That's powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much
So
one can do.
I know, I love it. I need to look at some of your recipes because I didn't realize you put recipes also
Oh,
on your
yeah,
social media. That's amazing.
100%. I've been on repeat baking protein, white chocolate, cranberry cookies. And they're so good. They're so, so good. And I've been making, and like on average, each cookie has like 10 grams of protein. So I really don't have to feel bad about it afterwards, which is great. And I know that it, stabilizes the blood sugar. And so you don't even feel like you're having something that's really healthy and good for you, but it still feels indulgent and like a treat. And I think, oh, that's one thing that I think a lot of people miss is making meals a special thing, right? I think even if you're eating something healthy like a salad or whatever it may be, a stir fry with a lot of veggies, we can still put in the effort of plating it pretty, using our best china, having a candle up, listening to nice music while we're eating, turning off the TV. Having flowers on the dinner table, whatever it may be, so that it still feels like a luxurious experience and like an act of self-care versus, trudging along and trying to maybe force yourself to do something that doesn't yet feel like an act of self-care.
Yeah, that's really important. I actually make majority of my meals, and I love it. And I love seeing
Amazing.
the different things coming together. However, I never thought about, I mean, I have my regular plates. I never thought about using my best plates, or I
Well,
have
we
I have my
often
bottles
have
in a
them,
different.
right?
Oh,
We often have them and then we take them out once a year or twice a year. And
wow.
I think that's unfortunate because every day is special, right?
That is true. So it's like, okay, we are treating ourselves the way that we would treat, our everyday, right?
Mhm.
How we would treat a special guest. Like, okay, we can do that for ourselves, and it's okay.
Exactly. And I think that also helps with reestablishing new memories, right? And new experiences. Is if you start treating it as something special, then you'll enjoy that more. You're going to have a positive association. And I think that's really important.
Oh, oh my gosh, I love that so much. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
everything that you have shared. I wrote so many notes. And please tell us how people can find you and if you have
Mhm.
any upcoming events.
Yeah, so I can be found on Instagram. So you can find me under Naturally Maxie. And then I do have a online workshop coming up on Sunday, the 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern time, which I believe is 2 p.m. Hawaii time, I think. So, and that'll be on Zoom, and we'll be talking about summer essentials. So, in the summer, a lot of people tend to struggle a bit more with knowing what to eat, how to stay healthy, how to navigate barbecues and all the social events. And so we'll be talking about that and how to, put our best foot forward. And so if anybody wants to join that, then they can message me on Instagram.
So thank you so much, Maxie. That was wonderful.
Thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate it.
Awesome. So yes, please follow Maxie on Instagram and check out her wellness workshop on the 28th of June. And our next guest I wanted to introduce is Yasmin Pascua. And Yasmin is a mindset and results coach, a wellness entrepreneur who helps women create success from the inside out. And through her own life challenges, she's become a powerful voice for resilience, guiding women to gain clarity, build confidence, and take action toward a life they truly love. And I absolutely align with this as well. Yasmin, thank you so much for being here. Please tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Hello. Hi, Marilyn. I'm super excited to be here with you and everyone that's here. Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to begin because I feel like a lot of what brought me here to where I am right now is just intertwined in like so many big events in my life. And when it comes to health and wellness, I really, I've been in this space for about 12 years now, actually longer, I think about 14 years. I've been in like the direct sales network marketing space of health for 12 years. But what led me to all of that is I just got to a point in my life where I had some I call it an emotional impact. Through the Bob Proctor world, we call it an emotional impact when something huge happens in your life, and it creates like major shifts in your life. They're like, like a divorce or a death or, a breakup, right? Like these big events that happen in your life. And that was the beginning for me where I started to notice, um, how it impacted my emotional health. And that's when I learned that I had anxiety. And so I actually got on anxiety medication and I was so embarrassed to tell anybody. No one knew actually. And back then, mental health wasn't as big of a conversation as it is now or as open and freely talked about. And yeah, so I got on anxiety medication. I was having like panic attacks. I had a panic attack and didn't even know what it was. And so I got on this medication, and with that came all kinds of side effects, including I gained about 20 pounds. And after a year being on that, I was like, all right, this doesn't even make sense to me anymore. Like, am I gonna be on this medication to help me handle stress or just, daily life stressors? Or am I gonna figure this out? Like, am I gonna figure out how to handle my anxiety? And also at the same time, I don't want to keep gaining all this weight and all the other side effects that came with it. And I also felt like very numb in life. Like I wasn't feeling things because that's what the medication did. And that really started my journey of like just more natural, holistic health. And now I'm like so obsessed, super obsessed with health. And then my husband, who I met, just understands health on like a deeper level. While I'm like, wow, I don't even know anything when I'm around him. And so, yeah, that started my journey. And then it really just became a passion that I was like, okay, I want to be able to help other people. I know how much holistic health has helped me. And I wish people knew what I know, right? Because a lot of times, like, we don't know what we don't know. And if we're brought up in a home or society where it's like you just, go to the doctors and you just do all the things that they tell you to and you don't really question it, then you end up, down a path that for me was not working and it just didn't make sense. So yeah, so that's how I got here. And then doing that, diving into the whole direct sales and helping other people with their health and wellness made me take a step, realize, wait a minute, if you don't fix what's happening up here, it's you can show people till you're blue in the face on like what it actually means to have real true health. But if the mind isn't right, like you're always going to be fighting against your thoughts and your beliefs and your limiting beliefs and your like past traumas. And that's how I got introduced to really the whole Bob Proctor world because I needed it for myself. And that for me, like marrying those two together has been so incredible and just really has broke a lot of ceilings, not only for me, but for other people. So
I
I
love
love
that.
it.
So I just want to go back a little bit in your beginning of your story about how you were feeling numb when you were taking medications. And I truly believe like natural is the best way too. I feel that, medications, they are not getting to the root of the problem. They're just putting a band-aid and masking maybe certain symptoms. However, it's like, okay, um, how do we get to the root of what's going on? And you nailed it on the head with the mindset, like really digging in deep, like figuring out, okay, what happened, when I was a child, probably, that I made this story up or that this became my truth. And a lot of like just even different protections and are the way our brain is like, okay, we're gonna protect you from what could possibly happen. And then it's like, oh well, when we make the goals and we switch the mindset a little bit, we can show our brain it's okay to do new things and it's not scary.
Yeah.
I mean, it is scary and it's okay to do new things. We're not gonna be harmed. Is what I was getting when I did the class with you up in Las Vegas. It's like, okay, we're doing this class and it's like, okay, it's a little bit uncomfortable and we're showing our mind like how brave and how powerful we are to be in uncomfortable situations to be able to keep moving forward.
Yeah, it's really amazing because that what I would say is like taking it another like step level forward, right? So like first it's like just understanding maybe your body and like natural healing and health, but then it's like working on your mind, and then the next step is like what we've been doing in my opinion, and that's like really working through the really hard deep stuff, and that's like any emotional traumas that you've been through in your life. And ever since I've been doing that kind of work, because that's newer for me, as you know, it's been like I'm coming up on my year anniversary. It is wild to me to see how like some of these ailments I've had for years are gone. And I know it's because it's all of this emotion that has been suppressed in my body. I truly believe in that stuff. I believe in that I finally was able to work through some really deep, heavy things. And now like this my arm going numb like stopped out of nowhere, right? And I went to all these doctor's appointments and like getting MRIs and stuff like that. And it's like there's a book, I think it's like, I can't remember what it's called, but Louise Hayes. Have you ever heard of her?
Oh,
It's like
yes.
Heal. I can't even, I look at it. Yes, you can heal your life. There you go. And I look at that book all the time because I'm like, oh my gosh, my hip is hurting right now. What does this
Yeah,
mean? And I always go to that, like to the emotion. Like, what is the emotion connected to the body? And let's work on that. So it's been so fascinating to just, the more you dive into the work, the more you just learn so much about yourself in the process.
absolutely. And what's been interesting for me in the past, I want to say couple of years now, is when the emotion is actually physically leaving my body, I can feel it. Like my whole body like
Mm.
shows me that it's releasing, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I've experienced that too, especially I think when you've like hit a trigger point, right? Like where it's like, oh, this is the trigger point of the trauma that you're healing. And yeah, it's like you're releasing. I mean, for me, it shows up in like just like nausea and tiredness and like migraine and stuff. And then, but when you work through it, it's like it's really actually gone, and then it's like a freeing that happens in not only in your body, but in your mind.
Yeah, it's so powerful. And you're a Bob Proctor coach as well. So how do you help navigate some of your clients through that kind of things?
Yeah, so the Bob Proctor stuff has been really amazing because um he actually, the work that we've been doing, I don't know if can we share the name of so the Personal Success Institute, he actually talked about the Personal Success Institute. And before I, knew anything, well, I kind of knew about it because of my husband, but um, now that I'm in the work, I understand why he was so passionate about that. Not anything else, not any other, companies or just programs out there other than his own and Personal Success Institute. And they both really marry each other well because I said once I understood the health and I could take people through the health, I was still battling their mind, right? And so then the Bob Proctor world really helped me with that. But then there was also a ceiling I noticed with that. And the Bob Proctor world is a lot of high achievers, but you still hit a ceiling there if you haven't worked through all that trauma and the stuff that happened to you, from that 1 to 8 or whatever that time frame is. And so, yeah, we have these amazing high achievers, but they're like, multiple six figures and they're going for 7 figures, or there's 7 figure earners going for 8, and there's still a ceiling that they will always bounce up against. And that's based on, the work that they've actually truly done within themselves. And so, yeah, the work really goes well together. And so it's been fun for me to see like what I've created. And now with my clients, now I'm able to bring this element in. Of course, they need to experience it for themselves, but being able to incorporate that with the Bob Proctor world has been really like magical. It's like it's the piece that was missing. I used to say the Bob Proctor thing is the thing that everybody's missing that they need, and now I'm like, oh no, you actually need both of them. That's the thing that people are missing.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Yeah, I'm just thinking about all the different things because we don't know what we don't know, right? Until we do. And so it's like,
Mhm.
okay, what stone can be uncovered? And I would just say even through the work with Personal Success Institute, like I was able to become the person or going into the direction that I'm meant to go. And even intuitively, like my intuitive gifts are so much stronger now. And it's just like I was blocking myself before because I didn't know it, what I didn't know kind of thing. So it's been such a wild ride, and just being able to witness and see other people have their breakthroughs and be able to hold space for them and then celebrate them, and then know that we're all doing this work together. It's been
Mhm.
really, really I mean, I wanted to cry just seeing your face. I'm just like, I love you so much. And when you come on, and I know, I don't know your whole story. However, this, what I know, I'm just like, Yasmin has been through so much, and she just shows up for her family, her clients, her people, her friends, and just loves so hard. And there's a reason for that. And you get to heal and figure out, okay, well, what serves me and what is safe for me to keep moving forward in the direction that I want to go. And just seeing you do that has been so inspiring.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you so much. It's a never-ending journey, It's like you're just peeling the layers of onion back, right? Like it's just like it's like, you think you've worked through something and then you're like, oh my gosh, we're going back to that. I thought I got through that, right? And it's just like
Oh,
another layer that you have to go through. And Bob Proctor talks about it like we're born with perfection, and then we're covered up in like viruses, right? And so we're just like removing the viruses over time. And that's what I feel like. It's like these layers that you're just peeling back. And the more that you work through that, it's like you become limitless and unstoppable. And you're just stepping into your greatness and your potential of what you're truly capable of. And so, yeah, I'm just like so passionate about the work. And the reality is, I think people just wait for they either come from two places, the victim of like, why do I have to have this kind of life? Or like, why me, right? Like I was born into these circumstances and this is what my life is going to be. Um, or the other place they come from is life is hard. This is like, I keep hitting challenge after challenge and I'm waiting for the perfect time for it to be my time. And the reality is that's never the case for anyone, right? Like, you said, I've gone through all these things, just in the last 6 years, my mom had breast cancer. I moved home. I live in Hawaii. I moved home to help her. I've had several miscarriages. I had a pulmonary embolism. I had a mini stroke. I lost my business overnight. I've had many business betrayals. And the reality is, life is always going to be hitting you from all the places, and the place to come from is like I get to choose my circumstances, right? I get to choose my life. Um, and it's really developing the mental toughness, but you do the you and becoming resilient, right? Through the challenges because they're always going to be there. It's always going to be a part of life. But you're able to become more resilient and build your mental toughness the more you understand yourself. And when you understand yourself, you really understand everyone, right? Because even though we're all so unique and different, and we all have our own creative genius, at the end of the day, we're all still the same as well, right? Like what, the human desires, we all want to be valued, seen, heard, loved, right? Like that's the core of what every human truly wants. Um, and so yeah, I could talk about this all day.
me too. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. I was just even thinking, I mean, the class we did together was 0 point. So how can we get to 0 point to be able to start creating more of the life we desire, more of the life we want? And that's by peeling off all the layers of the onion that we have put up to
Mhm.
protect ourselves when we were younger, and we get to figure out, okay, who are we really? And
Yeah.
as we do peel off the onion layer, like, after I got divorced, I'm like, I don't know who I am. I thought I was a wife, right? And I'm still a mom. However, I thought I was a wife. So I get to figure out who Marilyn is without all of the labels. And that was
Hmm.
scary for me.
Yeah, when you have a identity crisis, right? Like yours was your divorce, mine was when I lost my business in a night, in an hour with a click of an email. it's like your whole identity is rocked. And then you're brought back to, okay, well, who am I really, right? Because um, I'm not just that. I'm many other things. And I think for me, meeting you and all this, my discovery in working in the Personal Success Institute is um, I get to, it's fun to create a new identity, Like I can, so when I went through that traumatic, devastating moment, another emotional impact, like Bob Proctor would say, I was holding on to that, like you said, through your divorce, I don't even know who I am without this, I put, just like a marriage, I put, my blood, sweat, tears, like my heart, my soul, in everything I got into this. And it was like a beautiful thing at one point, right? Like it was the most amazing thing. And then you hold on to this, like what it was, right? Like, and that identity of who you are. And it's like almost like somebody took your arm off and you don't even know like how to operate anymore. And so through this whole process, it's been really amazing to like actually it's been very empowering. Like actually I get to like that was me, that's no longer me, and that's okay. And we're constantly evolving, we're all constantly growing. That's part of being a human as well. And now I get to recreate my identity, and that can actually be fun. It doesn't have to be dreadful. It doesn't have to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm starting over again. It's like, no, it can be fun and exciting to recreate what the identity is going to be.
And then it's like all these wonderful things have happened to you since you started your new business. And I'm just like, you know, I mean, opening up another country within your business, right? So it's just like all these amazing things are happening, and you get to be like, oh, this is what's possible, and even
Mm-hmm.
more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, intellectually, I've always known that everything is always working out for you. Everything's always working out for me, and it's always working out for you, right? Even in like the hardest moments or challenges, it's like, I know that there is something good out of this. Like, I don't know what it is right now, and like this sucks right now, but there's something good that's going to come out of this. And that's, for me, I found that with every single situation. Like every single, my worst moment has become one of my best moments. And I'm sure you could say that for yourself, right? Like they truly are like such great opportunities of growth and learning. And, you learn like what I don't want and what didn't work and, what I do want. And now you have a higher standard of what you're going to accept and not accept, in your life. And so, yeah.
I'm always thinking, okay, what is the lesson here? What can I learn? And then what I did is, okay, now I can use my past pains, right, to help the younger version of myself who didn't know any better, who was doing the best that she could with the information she had, and like
Mhm.
be able to support myself in that way, and hopefully in time support other people that may be going through a similar, you know, life experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's like it really truly is just like a never ending. I'm 42 years old, okay? I'm still like amazed by what life teaches me still every single day, even at my worst moments and even at my, best moments, just um, you know, staying humble through it all.
Absolutely. Well, I just appreciate you so much for being on the podcast today. Please share with the listeners where they can find you if you have an event coming up.
You can find me on Instagram at Yasmin Khan, Khan Pascua, and on Facebook, Yasmin K Pascua, and I'm very active on both platforms. I also have my mindset and results Facebook group called the Clarity Seekers. If you find me on Facebook, you'll be able to find my Facebook group as well. And yeah, that's where you can find me and get connected with me.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Thank you very, very much for being on today.
Thanks, Marilyn. I had such a great time talking with you like I always do.
Oh, me too. I'm like, I always learn, I'm like tearing up. I always learn from you. So thank you so much for being on. And I will see you, I'm sure, very soon.
Yeah, good to see you.
All right. So this concludes our World of Nutrition podcast. I do want to just thank Mutual Aid Network, which is an amazing nonprofit that was formed. So everybody has talents, right? Not everybody has the finances. So what we have done is the members of Mutual Aid Network has come together and we just share our gifts around the whole world. So for me, I love singing. I started Zoom karaoke during the pandemic because I really wanted people to come together, and music and singing just brings people together. So I get to do Zoom karaoke for the Mutual Aid Network and their events. And then this is how this podcast is also created as well, because I mean, I don't know how to run a podcast. However, there are other people that know. So it's like we all get to figure out our talents and be able to share it with the world. So thank you to Mutual Aid Network. And I'm also an affiliate of Frequenz. I do Reiki. And I just want to give a short testimony with Frequenz Rise Mango Lemonade Nootropics with 7 organic mushrooms. That has just been such a game changer for the brain to be able to have more clarity, help uplift people's mood and stuff. And this is something that I give to my 17-year-old who is on the spectrum. So I'm just super, super thankful for him being open to taking it and helping him through his school year as well. And thank you again for tuning in to another podcast of World of Nutrition.